All right, how do we want to open this?
Let's do a. I have no idea. Hey, folks, welcome back to the 503 Line Podcast, the only podcast about Portland Transit. I am one of your hosts, John, and here we have Clayton, too.
Hey, dude, I just found a picture of I just sent it to you.
Yep.
The one of the WES cars painted in the new color scheme.
Oh my god.
It's also coupled with one of the is that the Bud car?
The RDC?
Yeah.
What the heck? Here, why did it show up on my phone only? Anyway, today we're talking about the WES commuter rail, the commuter rail system that goes between Wilsonville and Beaverton and is run by TriMet. Uh, this is Clayton. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's like it got super quiet.
That's interesting. Um, did that help?
Yeah, it helped. And then at one point you like disconnected, which so I
Yeah,
couldn't
because
hear you
I
at all.
X'd out my Discord, but then it closed the whole app. Um, Yeah, and I didn't get your message with that picture.
It's in the recording channel.
Oh, okay, that would do it. Recording, show chat. Oh, oh my God. Okay, let's keep that reaction in. Actually, let's keep all of this because it's organic.
Yeah. Yeah, I can just if I need to edit any part of it out I can, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, today we're talking about WES. It's one of the other rail systems that TriMet operates. Usually when people talk about trains in reference to TriMet, they're probably referring to Max because that's what most people ride and it has the most service. But TriMet does actually operate two different rail services. They have the light rail and they also run a commuter rail service. A very small one.
Yep. It runs, like I mentioned before, it runs between Wilsonville and Beaverton, and it only runs during rush hour on weekdays. So it's only for a couple niche use cases, and the ridership really reflects that as well.
Yeah. Let me look. I want to look at the schedule really quick because I haven't really looked at this closely before. So, okay, if you're heading northbound from Wilsonville, so this is to Beaverton, there are five departures in the morning, starting at 5:16 a.m. and the last departure is at 8:16 a.m.
Yep.
Uh, and it also has five afternoon northbound trips starting at 3:28 p.m. and 6:28 p.m. Now, if you're going southbound to Wilsonville, pretty much the exact same thing. First train, 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon. First train leaves Beaverton at 6:08 a.m. and the last one leaves at 9:08 a.m. And in the afternoon, first train leaves at 4:20 p.m.
Blaze it.
And yeah. And the last one leaves at 7:20 p.m.
Yep. So very niche use case, and the ridership reflects that because in the second quarter of 2025, it got 500 riders per day.
Yeah.
Yeah. A total of 118,900 riders in 2024, which is pretty sad.
That's a
Uh,
lot.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm distracted because I was just thinking about how like people go crazy for 420, but I was like just thinking how I'm really glad that they can't like 67 can't end up in the schedule at all because then people would be like 6-7.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't get that joke until my mom started talking about how her elementary school students are obsessed about it.
I don't get it. Like I've
It's
even
some Gen Alpha brain rot.
yeah, but I've tried looking like what does it
I,
even mean?
I think it's the song that says 6-7, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, West Commuter Rail.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you want to get started? You can talk about the history, or do you want me to?
Yeah, I can talk about the history. So the line that it runs on is the former Oregon Electric Railway interurban right of way. The Oregon Electric Railway, like we mentioned last episode, was an interurban rail service which ran between downtown Portland and Eugene and ran on city streets of Salem and Eugene and Portland and served all the towns in between. And it had a branch that went to Beaverton and Hillsborough and Forest Grove and a whole bunch of other places. It was a really big system. It provided a bunch of, I think, a whole bunch of round trips a day. It was served as a commuter rail service to Portland and an intercity service to faraway locations such as Eugene, Oregon. Um, that closed down in the 1930s, I think.
According to
Um,
Wikipedia, yeah, mid to late 1930s. Well,
yep.
okay. Oregon Electric stopped serving passenger trains in the late 1930s. Yeah.
Yes. And um, between then and now, there was no, in 2009 when it was opened, was no passenger service on that corridor. In the interim, it was served by Portland and Western Railroad freight trains. It still is, and which is our local subsidiary of Genesee and Wyoming. Short Line Railroad handles local freight. Um, and Clayton, do you want to talk about what the planning process behind WES and everything?
Yeah. Um, so looks like the planning process began in 1996, and was led by Washington County. Um, and uh, essentially they were looking at establishing passenger rail service between the current Beaverton and Wilsonville using the Portland and Western line. And
Yep.
then in 2002, TriMet took over as the lead planning agency. There were several delays due to lack of funding, but they finally received approval from the Federal Transit Administration in 2004 to fund 50% of the line's capital costs. Construction then began in 2006, and began in Wilsonville, and looks like they had a groundbreaking ceremony in Tigard. Um, and this notes, although the project had already started and no dirt was moved.
Yep.
uh, I feel like that's how most groundbreaking ceremonies are. At best, you get some like big wig with a golden shovel that
Yeah, exactly. And they scoop a few handfuls of dirt and then get pictures taken, all that good stuff.
yeah.
Um, and that has a bunch of technical information about it. 14 miles of track, 14 road crossings. The one of the unique features is that WES actually has level boarding and high platforms. So they needed to build gauntlet tracks, which is where they have uh, an extra set of tracks that branches off a few inches from the normal tracks, so that freight trains can pass the passenger platform without bonking the platform as they go by. Because passenger freight trains are usually a little bit wider and they swing around a little bit more than passenger trains are expected to. Um, so yeah, that's called Gauntlet Track. It's kind of interesting if you zoom in on some of the stations, like for example, Hall/Nimbus. You can see some nice Gauntlet Track. Uh, and should have a live feed of me on Google Maps right now. You can also
Is your
see that on the smart rail system in Sonoma County, uh, in the Bay Area. They have a similar system with level boarding. They also employ gauntlet tracks to allow freight trains to not bonk the platform as they go by. It's also at Tualatin West. You can see that at that station. Anyway, how many? It is one, two, three, four, five, six stations. There's only one station with two tracks, which is Tiger Transit Center. That's where trains are scheduled to pass each other. And the rest of it is single tracked with a few passing sidings for freight trains. But I think freight trains mostly run at night, right?
Yeah, I don't know this for sure. I thought I read somewhere that they had some sort of agreement where they didn't run freight trains during passenger service, which really isn't that much of a block. I mean, it's like rush hour and that's it. But
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't find anything about that now, so
Yeah.
I might be making that
Uh,
up, but
Speaking of sharing tracks with freight trains, they had to do an interesting thing when they built this thing in 2009, where
are you
the
eating your
FR.
microphone? What's happening
Um,
over there?
oh yeah, eating my mic. Right, yeah. Anyway, I was just standing up so I didn't have to sit down in front of my computer. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah, it was like super loud, the
Okay.
adjusting.
Um, anyway, at some point in the recent past, the FRA allowed lighter European passenger equipment to be run on mainline tracks. Uh, for example, Caltrain was allowed to run Statler Flirts, which are modern European electric multiple units. A bunch of Texas railways, like Tex Rail, which goes between Fort Worth and Dallas Fort Worth Airport, was allowed to run Statler Flirts on their network, which is a light European diesel multiple unit. Um, Before that, American diesel multiple units or any rolling stock that ran on American rails had to be horrendously overbuilt in order to survive the FRA's buff strength test, which is where you had to crash a heavy freight locomotive into your passenger equipment, and if it survived, um, it would pass the test. So, in or TriMet was dead set on running diesel multiple units, which are self-propelled passenger cars, basically, with a diesel engine strapped to the bottom of them. So they worked with a company called Colorado Railcar, which is an infamous company. It was formed from another company that went bankrupt called Raider Railcar, which built the infamous Marble Row Unlimited train. Well, it didn't build it. It tried to build it, but then they went bankrupt. Which is basically a train that would take people who smoked a lot of cigarettes into the American West on freight tracks, and then they had hot tubs on the train and a really beefy HVAC system because of all the smoke, which is one of the reasons that the train didn't end up working out, because they couldn't fit all the air filters on there to protect the crew from the smokers. There's a really good episode of Well, There's Your Problem, which is a podcast about engineering disasters about the Marlboro Unlimited train. Needless to say, the Raider Railcar went bankrupt, so the guy who started it started another company called Colorado Railcar, which focused on making diesel multiple units. TriMet ordered 3 of them, 3 powered DMU cars and 1 non-powered trailer car, which is a shockingly low amount of rolling stock. I always thought they had like 7 of them, but no, they only have 3.
I don't
It's kind of sad.
I don't understand the reasoning behind getting 3 powered cars and then just getting 1 cab car.
Yeah.
But
They only run single units too.
yeah. I mean, even if they were planning on running these as multiple units, I still don't get it. But and also this picture I sent you, the one that with the new paint scheme, that's the cab
Yep.
car.
Yeah, that's the unpowered one.
Yeah,
That's why it's coupled to an RDC.
Yeah, I just realized that. So that's probably why this picture is from March of this year. I've never seen this thing, so they probably don't even run it.
Exactly. So Colorado Railcar went bankrupt while they were trying to construct 4 cars for TriMet for the WES service.
Well, in fairness, I am looking. They did make a couple other cars for people. So
yeah,
just the 4, but
but it's still says something.
Yeah.
They made one for, I think, Sunrail in Orlando, maybe.
Tri-Rail in Miami.
Okay, I was close.
But I mean, they made 4 bi-level powered for Tri-Rail and 2 bi-level unpowered.
If you've ever seen a picture of those, they look so janky.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. It's interesting. But that's about it. There's like a random one that went to the Alaska Railroad, but I don't know if they manufactured that for them or if they just got it. And it looks like the French Lick Scenic Railway, which is in Indiana, now owns the X Tri-Rail cars.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the opening was delayed several times and eventually to February 2009 due to technical and other difficulties, most notably the failure of Colorado Railcar. TriMet lost $3 million from the delays and from its financial support to Colorado Railcar, which included paying Colorado Railcar suppliers and providing rail engineering expertise and on-site technical assistance. They provided bailout funds to Colorado Railcar, paying rent, phone, and power bills, and ultimately taking control of the failing company long enough to take delivery of its vehicles. So yeah, TriMet had to keep paying them money in order for that company to stay alive long enough for them to get their 4 diesel multiple units.
Well, and I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for the Colorado Railcar DMUs, and apparently U.S. Railcar took it over after
It's their
that.
successor.
Yeah, and then they intended to keep producing DMUs, but as of 2023, haven't received any orders.
You can go to usrailcar.com and see some great concept art,
Ooh,
by the way.
I'll do that. Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and
110 mile per hour concept vehicle. Is it a DMU or a locomotive? Find out more. And the
you
website's
can
running Adobe Flash Player.
You can see on their
Rip.
website, their big thing is FRA compliance, which, like I mentioned before, is no longer relevant because you can now run a nice light European rolling stock with a waiver, which is pretty easy to get. And you can see the ridiculously heavy skeleton they had to build for these in order to comply with the regulations.
This link that it linked to, where it was like, is it a DMU or locomotive? Find out more. Is a 16-page PowerPoint
Oh my god.
with concept. Well, first it has concept art of high-speed rail trains that shares track with freight rail and goes up to a whopping 110 miles per hour.
Yep.
But then it shows another slide of what they've accomplished already. And it has a picture of Wes's cab car, but it's like flipped over, so all the text is backwards on it.
That's right. That's
And it's
so they
boasting.
they they mirrored the image so they wouldn't get copyright struck or something. I don't. What the heck?
Yeah, and then they have like some weird stock image of like um one of their bi-level
Yeah,
for
for
the
tri-rail it looks like,
yeah,
but it like
boast
has text that's superimposed on it.
yeah, DMU demonstration project, and it has like the FRA symbol on it.
Yeah. So
It's
yeah, very silly company.
yeah. Um do they have a phone number? I kind of want to call them. Contact us. Oh, they do.
Oh my god. I I don't know how this company is still alive, but I guess they have $13 a month to pay for web hosting. That's all I can think of.
Yeah. Well, have to see if they even pay to keep their phone on.
Yeah. Um, okay, so the I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for WES.
Welcome to Verizon Wireless. Your call cannot be completed as
That's their phone number.
Oh my god.
All right, well, I don't think anybody's going to be getting rolling stock from U.S. Real Company anytime soon.
Exactly. Oh my god, that is amazing.
Uh,
Um, yeah, so until 2020, WES operated every 30 minutes during rush hour on weekdays only. Uh, its service reductions were implemented early in the COVID-19 pandemic, and they reduced service to every 45 minutes. And as of now, it remains at that level. Um, and technical information. Okay. Travel times 27 minutes. Westline was okay. So it was located within Fare Zone 3, but then TriMet got rid of
I
fares.
forgot about the fare zones.
Yeah, I
What did they call it? They had the free one in downtown. The
oh yeah, they had the fareless square.
yeah, that's what it's called, the Fairless Square.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, that was nice. Um,
Oh, did you talk about the Bud cars? Because we were kind of
oh yes. So
we
yeah,
were
more
talking about
rolling stock stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this podcast is so organized.
Yeah, we wrote a script out and everything.
Yeah. We're definitely not just reading off the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, they also, in addition to the 3 DMUs from Colorado Railcar and the 1 trailer car, they have a few Bud RDCs, which are uh, diesel multiple units from the 1950s and a little bit before, which were intended to replace or supplement service on lesser used rural lines, and are actually still used on one service in Canada, in the far north of Canada, which is kind of cool. Uh, they I think they use the RDCs on one trip a day on WES, but I'm not sure. But it's kind of cool that they're running old rail cars from the 1950s, which are the original American-made DMUs. They're made by the Bud Company, which is the same company that made the Metro liners and Amfleets for Amtrak, and they're pretty cool, and you can still see them running on WES.
Yeah. I did see one in regular service one time, and I was like foaming at the mouth.
Yep.
I'm checking. I just thought of if you haven't heard of the Pantograph app, which sadly is only an app on iOS, but you can go to pantographapp.com. Um,
It's
highly
a great
recommend.
app for nerds.
Yeah. Shows the location of just about every TriMet bus, C-Tran bus, Max train, and looks like some other services too. Like I see a bus down in Salem right now.
Pretty good.
So, and it's not just the Portland area. There's other regions as well. But
Yeah.
anyway, the reason I'm here is I was trying to see if they had Wes on here, but sadly they don't. But what you can see is you can see the block schedule for a vehicle. So, like, let me just click on uh, Max Train right now. So I click on block info, it shows me for like this specific vehicle, which is vehicle 621, so it's one of the type
Hmm.
sixes. I can
Yep.
see it leaves Ruby Junction at 5:25 a.m. and runs as a blue line to Rose Quarter Transit Center, and then switches to yellow line to go up to the Expo Center, and then it runs on the yellow/orange line all day until it runs as a okay. This is where this I was talking about this in one of the episodes where
Yep.
it runs as a yellow line southbound through the transit mall, even though it's supposed to be the orange line.
Hmm.
And then at PSU, it changes to a green line train to Gateway.
Yeah, so it's the one train a day that actually remains a yellow line train going south through the transit mall.
Yeah, and then it goes to Ruby Junction. But anyway, it's really cool if you're nerds like us. You can see the block schedule for just about every vehicle.
Yep.
And you can also look at somewhere on here. Anyway, somewhere on here it'll show you if you're like, oh, what vehicle is scheduled to come at, this stop for this line. It'll show you that, which obviously will
Yep.
probably change day to day or even on the fly if there's vehicle issues. But It even has like data of like missed trips and all this stuff. But anyway, I was hoping to see if it showed what vehicles they ran on each WES trip, but it is not. It doesn't have WES on there at all. But
Yeah. So let's talk about ridership.
yeah,
So,
what
like we
ridership?
mentioned, it was expected to carry as many as 4,000 riders by 2020.
Which
4,000
isn't,
riders a day.
which is pretty sad.
Yeah, that's still not very many people.
No. Also,
Uh,
I don't remember if we said this number. I know we brought it
yep.
up earlier, but I don't know if we said it once we start recording. It cost $166 million to get WES operational from like planning, construction to day one, which
Which is
is
honestly pretty cheap.
yeah. Yeah, obviously that was early 2000s. This it opened
Yeah, it's
2009, so
before prices went crazy.
yeah. But even back then, that's pretty good um for
For
construction
any kind
costs.
of rail, yeah. They had to replace a lot of ties, upgrade track from local freight rail that ran at 25 miles an hour up to 60 miles an hour. I don't know what class FRA track that is, but it's not too bad. Uh, Trains only get up to about 37 miles an hour on the line, anyways. But it's better than 25, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, um, it was expected to carry as many as 4,000 riders by 2020. It got a peak of about 2,000 riders a day in 2014 and kind of hovered around the 1,500 to 2,000 range until 2020 when the in 2021 the daily ridership dropped down to 330 people a day. Which, uh, yeah, each train probably just had 10 people on it, honestly.
Yeah.
Which you rode, Wes. You, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there was that trip I took. It was like 7, almost 8 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
heading northbound. There was probably 20 to 30 people on the train. It felt,
Not bad.
yeah, it felt like there was a lot of people, but that's because they were running a single DMU unit.
Yeah, a single car.
Yeah.
I think
Um,
they almost never use that trailer car that we were talking about either.
yeah, I think it's funny that they, I mean, maybe because it was just sitting around, they were able to,
The paint it blue.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so the lack of ridership, I'd like to highlight. If you remember from last week's episode,
Yes.
I
Talked
talked
about the
about
cost per passenger that it costs TriMet to run each service.
so on average across all their services, it's $7.88, which is pretty bad.
Yep.
For Wes, it's over $10 per rider.
Yeah.
Um,
And they have a
Actually, it looks like
contract. Oh, yeah. They have a
in
contract with the Portland and Western Railroad, which we can talk about that later. But basically, they're locked into providing this service for 99 years, and they can't modify it without contract negotiations.
yeah. And sorry, I should read the whole thing before I start throwing out numbers.
Yes.
Let me back up to last week again. So, as a reminder, the subsidy per ride was $1.77 in 2014. In
Yep.
2014, it was $10 per ride for Wes.
Yeah.
So now in 2024, that's where you get the $7.88 number.
That's the system.
Yeah. So it wasn't $10 in 2024, the subsidy. How much do you think it was?
I am going to say $15.
$93.25.
Holy shit. That is insane.
So it, oh my God. For every person that rides TriMet, it costs them around
It
$93.25.
rides WES. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, for Wes, yes. It's
Yeah.
so let me see. Um
So if you ride this train, you will cost TriMet $96.
yeah.
Because it's still only $2.90 to ride it.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty insane.
I,
So let's talk about extensions because as soon as this thing started, people were like, "Oh, the line goes all the way down to Salem. Let's extend it all the way down to Salem." But as you can see, the ridership isn't great because it's a really limited service. It only goes from suburb to suburb, basically. And it only runs during rush hour. And it only runs on weekdays. It's very limited what people can use it for. And it's incredibly expensive to operate. And they're locked into this contract with the Portland and Western Railroad where they provide staff to drive the trains and be conductors and everything. Um, so the plans to extend it to Salem have been a little bit kind of on the back burner lately, so to speak. So yeah, you can see in 2010 that ODOT was like, "Oh, let's extend it to Salem, have it stop in Woodburn, Kaiser, and Salem." And you can look on the map at the Kaiser Transit Center and see that when they built that sucker, they built it right next to the tracks, so that they could just throw a commuter rail platform up and make it really easy to transfer from commuter rail to the Salem Kaiser bus system. And it would be a transit accessible In and Out Burger because there's an In and Out Burger right around there now.
oh yeah.
But said that City of Wilsonville wanted. Oh yeah, as of 2017, there's been no plans owing to low ridership, as we mentioned. Lawmakers have attempted to revisit it. City of Wilsonville revealed legislative concepts that include several service improvements, including the Salem extension. There was a state bill which, if passed, would require ODOT and other Oregon Rail agencies to study the possibility of a Salem extension. And it was released. Oh, there was another House bill that was released. And
Yeah, essentially
it would
this
create
one.
a separate entity
Yeah,
because now TriMet wants nothing to do with WES.
understandably.
Yep, exactly. I would wash my hands of it if I was TriMet because as it's currently being run, it's not too great.
Yeah. But as of, well, so the Wikipedia says as of June 27th of this year, the bill is still in committee. But as far as I know from the little research I did leading up to recording, it's still in committee. And there's obviously a
A
lot of
little bit of
issue.
funding stuff going on.
Yeah. So honestly, I would rather they focus on getting that under control.
And not cutting all bus service in Portland.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's maybe one day will be extended to Salem. Um, I also was looking at some Reddit threads about WES as we were getting ready to record. And there's a lot of people that are like, oh, well, WES would actually be useful if it ran into Portland, but we were looking
Yeah,
before we
there's some
recorded.
logistical issues with getting it into Portland. So
Yeah.
if I can crack open the old history book again, the Portland Electric Railway used to run into Portland, and the branch up to Beaverton used to be a branch. So when it traveled up to Portland, it branched off somewhere around Tigard and took a right of way that's pretty much followed Highway 99 slash I-5. So you can look up some old maps of it. It's kind of interesting how it went, but it basically followed where I-5 goes now.
That
And when they
sounds a lot like the Southwest Corridor Max project.
yeah. Yeah, when they tore down the Portland Electric Railway tracks, they basically built I-5 right on top of it from about where is that? From about Barber Transit Center to downtown Portland. Um, so that right of way is not available anymore because I-5 is on top of it. That's what the interurbans used to do when they provided basically commuter rail service from Tualatin into downtown Portland. Now, if they were to revive that, they would, like you mentioned, have to. They could build the Southwest extension and go along Barber Boulevard into Tigard, which would honestly be the most useful thing, because you could tie into the Max network already. But if you really wanted to do commuter rail and use existing tracks that you could just slap diesel trains on, you could use the line that went to Lake Oswego. That still goes through Lake Oswego and crosses over, and it goes onto the east side through Selwood Moreland area. But you got a big problem if you're running trains north from Tualatin. You gotta get the trains onto that track without reversing them. So you gotta build a Y in order to get the trains over there onto that track. And when you're there, if you use that track, you're stuck to using the east side, and having the terminal somewhere on the east side, or running trains over the notoriously really fast steel bridge.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they would, if they did this, they would just have it go to Union Station, which be I would have to go
but
over the
that
steel bridge, and yeah, that's not a great idea, but
and I'm sure the residents of Lake Oswego would be thrilled to have more trains going through their community.
well, yeah, I mean they're Yimbys, so they love,
Yeah, exactly.
they love people swimming in their lake, so
Yep. And you'd have trains going right by the lake too, which is
yeah,
also awesome.
they would love that.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's definitely possible, but it would be a logistical and like
Challenge.
just getting the just building the connection on the track that it currently runs on to this other one that would head east towards Lake Oswego would be a challenge, especially
Yeah.
with the current land use that's there. There's not really anywhere that they could just, oh, we'll just
Yeah, they
slap
would
it down right
have
here.
to plow down the Tualatin Community Park in order to build a nice curve.
Yeah. So
Or they could plow down that golf course. That would be pretty sweet, actually.
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
it's a country club. It isn't even a muni course, so I couldn't even go golf there.
yeah.
Anyway, um, the other option is they could use the Willamette Shore streetcar, which is a hilarious line that goes from Lake Oswego to South Waterfront, and
Right next to the
this
ice facility, actually.
nice.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say what just popped into my head. That line used to be a Southern Pacific interurban line, and it still exists and is run by volunteers. And they run I think it's on weekends only.
I think it's only on
In the
Saturdays.
summer only, yeah. And they run a goofy old streetcar with a diesel generator strapped to the back of it. Um, and it goes through a bunch of people's backyards and through a bunch of parking lots in the area off of McAdam, which is pretty funny. It's a really janky line, but I think it would be hilarious if they ran real commuter trains through there and really stuck it to everyone. But that's, as we know, that's never going to happen. We can't have nice things anymore.
Yeah. Well, without any track improvements, it would probably run at like 5 miles per hour.
Oh, 100%. One of the cool things about that line is it actually has a tunnel it runs through. You can see a little we're on the shore of the Willamette. It kind of sticks out a little bit. They built a tunnel through there. And it's kind of it's a pretty good sized tunnel. It's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, it's actually
Um,
pretty long.
anyway, that's an option. But if they had infinite money, the best thing would just be to follow I-5 or Barber Boulevard. Then you hit a little more population, and you don't have to do a really indirect route.
Yeah. I mean, if they had infinite money, they could just tunnel, just continue the existing alignment at Beaverton and just tunnel completely under everything
Oh yeah,
to
100%.
downtown Portland. Just
Yep.
call it a day. And then they wouldn't have to have like a branch or spur line or anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, it's good to fantasize about what would happen if everything wasn't terrible.
yeah. The other interesting thing would be, so like you said, Kaiser has basically their station ready to go. They just need to slap a platform down and be done.
Exactly.
But we were looking at earlier, once it gets to Salem, the Amtrak station in Salem is on the UP.
It's built on the UP tracks.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Amtrak Cascades and Coast Starlight use the UP tracks going to Union Station.
So they would either have to build a track that connects the Portland Western tracks over to the UP one, which probably wouldn't be too difficult because they run within like a block of each other for
Yeah, you just have to like use this part of this like park looking thing.
the natural area, I guess.
Yeah,
I
which
mean,
looks like just a big dead grass field that's oh, it's for lease.
oh well, let's buy it and then we can make
Oh, yeah, available as yard space.
what? Okay.
Um, whatever that means.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of light industrial around there. But yeah, we could buy it and then sell it to TriMet at a markup.
Yeah. The other option is to just um build a new station for WES in Salem.
Yeah,
Um,
somewhere in downtown. Looks like along the waterfront there might be good stuff. And plus
yeah,
you get to see some nice street running going up to that. Because as I said, it was an interurban uh, streetcar trolley tram line. Um, and it does run on the streets when it goes through some towns, Salem included.
yeah, and there is a somewhere down here on the waterfront. There's like a historical train station there. So
Oh yeah, you revive that.
yeah,
Yeah, you.
there's also talk about once it gets extended to Salem, then eventually extending it to Eugene. I guess if it's not going to be part of TriMet anymore, then whatever. But when I first saw that and I thought it was still going to be a part of TriMet, I was like,
That would be
that's
insane.
that's an
It
interesting idea.
the line has some nice street running through Albany as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think Albany has a historic carousel as well. You could even do a branch to Corvallis if you wanted to get really fancy with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is all fantasy, but I think it's pretty awesome. If they would actually do something nice for people. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, at that
and
point, if you're in Eugene, you just continue down to where could you go from there? Well, if you continue on
to
this,
the Bay Area, of course.
oh yeah,
Yeah, the line just ends in Eugene. I think it merges with UP tracks.
yeah. Whose tracks are these going down to Medford?
Uh, Still UP.
Oh, it's just not the main line.
Uh, yeah, I don't think so.
On open railway map, it's like the yellowish color, which means it's a branch line versus
Okay.
it shows the main line goes down through Klamath Falls.
Yeah, and then it has like a stop in Lapine, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Which is it's kind of interesting because it doesn't go as it's Crescent maybe. There's a Amtrak station that is it's Chemult. That's where it cuts over. It goes through Crescent Lake Junction and everything.
Hmm.
That's where the Amtrak service goes. The line to Medford must be. It still looks like a pretty major line, but that's not the route that Amtrak follows. But yeah,
Yeah,
if we could get statewide local rail service, that'd be pretty cool, and not run by Amtrak.
yeah. You know what I also want them to do is build commuter rail from Portland to Vancouver.
Yeah, that we need that first. We need that
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't even be that hard to set up. Just have a train run between the Vancouver Amtrak station and the Portland one. It's
Exactly.
something. Um,
There was a study on that a few years ago, and it didn't really go anywhere.
Mm.
It was basically saying they need to do a bunch of improvements to the Vancouver station, like have they really wanted a flyover from Mill Plain down to the station, so you wouldn't have to cross the train tracks to get to it. But
Interesting. Yeah,
and the other thing is that the city of Vancouver is really pushing for a bus stop at the Amtrak station. So they're in negotiations with BNSF to try to get Line 25 CTRAN extended over to Vancouver Station.
that's why there's no bus stations because of BNSF.
Yeah, because
Oh
of
my
all the
god.
crossings and crap. I don't know, because they own the station. It's I don't
Oh,
know.
jeez. I always kind of wondered about that because they have the current goes there, right? But they don't have like an actual line.
I'm not even sure if the current does go there. I think you got to use your size 13 limousines to get there if you don't have a car. Your Lamborghinis, Subarus. There's a good one I heard the other day. I don't know.
Okay, let's see. Port of Vancouver.
Oh,
See,
Strolls Royce.
okay, so yeah, the current does service the Amtrak station.
Interesting.
The map for the current
Must have
it's
just a little splotch on Vancouver Station.
yeah, it does. So it's the Port of Vancouver is that section. And so it's like everything west of there, but it extends out just enough to service the Amtrak station, and it even has
Okay.
a little pin on it to signify that it
Okay.
serves it.
Well,
And then you
that's
can
something, I guess.
yeah, then you can use it to connect to 4 major stops in downtown Vancouver. So
Okay, that's
at
not
least there's
bad.
something.
Yeah.
But it
Well,
also
it's not great, but it's
yeah, it runs
yeah.
from 5:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. on weekdays.
Yeah.
So um
I know when I was driving for unnamed transit agency, there was one lady who missed her last bus to Camas, and so I'm talking with dispatch, and I'm like, "Is there any option for her to get to Camas?" They're like, "Not really." I'm like, "Oh,
jeez.
because it's after 7 p.m." So she's like, "Oh, I guess we'll go back to Portland because I'd rather be stranded there than at Fisher's Landing Transit Center." So
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. But she was convinced that the last bus was at 9:25, but it was actually 9:15.
Um,
Yeah.
well,
Anyway, that's a whole nother thing we could talk about. Transit not running very late.
yeah. For context, the current is a on-demand
Micro transit.
yeah, CTRAN describes it as a rideshare service. But I mean, it kind of is to an extent. It's yeah, I mean, you can download their app. Um,
You can book a ride. It might take a little longer to get there. You might have to stop to let people on and off.
yeah,
But hey, it's only 125.
yeah, and you can pay with your
It's
hop
hard to
card.
complain. Yeah.
Yeah, the restrictions on it are you can only use it within the service areas, so it's not the entire C-Tran service area. They have like little tiny kind of
Little pockets.
yeah, basically underserved areas for the fixed route service. Um, and you can use it to get around those areas or connect to a fixed route. Um, the Campus Washougal one, the service area is fairly large.
Yeah. Which that would be really nice. if it ran later, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it would be nice to hit the bars in downtown Camas or downtown Washougal and then be able to get back to civilization afterwards. But
Yeah.
alas, it only runs till 7 p.m.
You get back for only $1.25. You don't even have to tip the driver.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, okay.
You probably should tip them under the table because they don't get health insurance, though.
That's messed up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they make them work less than 4 hours a day or something, so they don't have to pay them or give them health insurance.
Nice.
Yeah, that's not even inside information. You can see it when you see job postings for the current every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
gotta love that.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that
let's.
pretty much wraps up our episode about West Commuter Rail.
Yeah, there's not much to talk about for it. I mean,
We should have included live feed of me browsing Google Maps and looking at everything.
yeah, was your like jaw like mouth wide open, like a fly could go in?
Yeah. I was doing the silly face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we didn't really give our own opinions on it. I don't know how I feel about it. um,
My opinion is Wes would be useful if it ran like every 30 minutes, basically all day, every day.
yeah.
Then I feel like more people could rely on it and would take it.
I mean,
And especially if it went to downtown Portland.
right. Yeah, I mean, the Southwest region is really lacking in any form of rapid transit. There's decent bus coverage, but it's
The buses get stuck in traffic. They're not a
yeah.
viable alternative to driving.
Yeah, it's so
And also biking sucks there too. So that's
it
not
does.
a viable alternative either.
Yeah. So yeah, if they could increase the service frequency, it would probably be much more useful to people. Because I don't want to dox myself, but I live fairly close to the WES system, so I want to use it more. I
I
actually
am looking that would only be like a 5 to 10 minute bike ride for you.
yeah.
It's easy, yeah.
Yeah, so like I would love to use it more. I had to go out of my way to use it that day for the
Yeah, for
speed
the speed
run.
run, yeah.
Because it wasn't as far as like Google Maps and stuff was concerned, it was not the most efficient way to get especially the direction I was going. It definitely wasn't, but
Yeah.
I never have a
reason to use it.
yeah, or the ability to. I mean, every time I
Yeah.
make a trip that is going in a direction that I could use WES,
It's
I
not running.
yeah, I can't use it.
Yeah, so
Or
yeah, the hours are so limited. It limits the things you can use it for.
yeah, and at best, it is running on like my way to a destination, but then I can't take it back, and then I'm taking, hopefully there's a bus route that I can get back on easily, but
Exactly.
it's just not,
It's really frustrating.
yeah, it's not convenient for most people. Obviously, there are some people that ride it and their schedule for work must line up fairly well. Okay, I look at it two ways. Their work schedule must line up well that they can take it, or they're like me and they go out of their way to take it just because it's
They're train loving masochists.
yeah. I mean, personally, like if I lived Well, I guess I could say this now. Like, let's say I worked somewhere in downtown off of like the Max. I might go out of my way to take West to like Beaverton Transit Center and then take Max to
into downtown Portland.
yeah, but it would have to my schedule would have to match with that.
Exactly.
Um,
It's for 9 to 5 commuters or reverse commuters,
yeah.
but very little else.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they could increase if they could increase service, which would then hopefully increase ridership, I think it would be
Mhm.
much more useful and less of a money suck for them.
Yeah.
Because they could actually get some more revenue on it. But I don't even know. That's probably such a difficult thing for them to do, given that they don't even operate themselves. They have a contract
Yeah.
with Portland Western.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if I was God Emperor of Portland Transit, which I hope to be someday, uh, uh, I would buy the line, double track it, electrify it, God willing. Uh, and so you could just run as many freaking trains as you wanted. At that point, just make it another rapid transit line.
Yeah,
Maybe run heavier rolling stock because it's longer distances. You wouldn't want to run light rail vehicles, but
right. Did I tell you what I did on NIMBY rails for Wes?
no. By the way, NIMBY Rails is a game where you can draw train lines on a map and then run pixelated trains on them.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
uses OpenStreetMaps, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, you literally you can draw train tracks over it. And through the Steam workshop, you can download realistic. I mean, they have some built-in
Yeah,
rolling
you can
stock,
get
but
different rolling stock to run on your fantasy rail line.
yeah. So we built like the whole Mac system. We have S70s running on that. But
Yep.
we we had built the WES system, and we just as it is today. But I spent a couple hours upgrading it. So I basically did what you were saying. I double tracked the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
or almost the whole thing. There's a couple single track spots, but um, pretty much double tracked the whole thing. I put Stadler flirts on it.
Yep.
Oh, as part of the double tracking, I had to extend the platform lengths to fit the
Oh,
flirts on there.
yeah, because the platforms are hilariously short.
Yeah. And then I have it running at least every 30 minutes, maybe more than that, honestly.
Yeah.
All day, every day. And the ridership on there is like, I mean, the trains could hold like almost 500 people, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
they were all basically full. So
Yeah.
it's proof that it can work.
Oh yeah, we proved it with science and logic.
Yeah, because a video game is 100% realistic.
Oh yeah.
Because I think in its like ridership calculation for the game, it like doesn't factor in cars at all.
Yeah.
It's like you can literally only take the train or you don't go anywhere.
Exactly.
But it's possible.
Exactly. Yeah. Wes, not great.
Could be a little better.
Could, yeah.
I'm reading something about.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is like. I mean, it's still West, but this is different.
Yep.
Apparently, when West began operation,
Mhm.
there were complaints about all the amount of times that they had to sound their horn, since
Oh
it's
yeah,
the FRA mandates that they sound their horn
and it'd be
approaching.
96 decibels
Yeah. So
or more.
apparently they had the original horns were 102 decibels. So for a
Really freaking loud.
yeah, so for a fleet-wide cost of a whopping $5,000, they swapped those horns out for 96 decibel horns,
Hmm.
which met the minimum requirement but still led to complaints. Um, and
And yeah, a
then
lot of the crossings were in Tigard. So the city of Tigard paid for quiet zones to be installed,
yeah, that was
which
after TriMet asked the FRA for a waiver to put a similar horn to the max, which would sound at 80 decibels, and have bells that would ring at 60 decibels continuously as the train neared the crossing. But the FRA turned that down, so they had to
yep,
do a
because
quiet
we can't
zone.
have anything nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I really like the horns on the Max train, so it would have been kind of cool if they had
Yeah,
swapped to that.
exactly. Yeah,
But
nice electric horns.
yeah, but I also do really like regular train horns. So
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that they decreased from 102 decibels to 96, thinking that would stop the complaints.
I mean, it is significant because decibels are uh, like a logarithmic thing or whatever. They aren't like linear in terms of the sound reduction.
Mm,
Uh, like uh, an increase from like 90 to 100 is like more significant than you'd think. It's kind of
okay.
like the Richter scale or whatever, where like maybe I don't know. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, I'll take
uh,
your word for it that it would have
yeah,
been a noticeable
yeah, yeah.
difference. 'Cause
But yeah, as decibels go up, the decibels get bigger, basically.
okay, it's kind of
Yeah, yeah,
exponential.
exactly. It is exponential.
Okay, that
Yeah,
makes sense. Because yeah,
yeah.
like a decrease of 6 sounds like nothing, but if it is exponential, then maybe it was a little bit more significant. But obviously not enough to make people not
I
complain.
know that from looking at air compressors because it was saying that like a 80 decibel air compressor is like crazy loud compared to a 60 decibel air compressor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Anywho,
we should
I
probably
don't
end
know.
the episode before we
Yeah, you
keep
should probably.
rambling
Yeah,
about random things,
exactly. Yeah.
decibels and air compressors.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything to plug, Clayton?
Uh, no, I don't think so.
Okay,
Um,
I don't either. So
yeah,
yeah,
I guess.
subscribe, like.
Yeah, let us know if you like this much less structured content than our
Yeah,
last couple episodes. Because for context, we don't script, or at least the last two episodes, we didn't really script them that heavily, but we had like
yeah.
a
We just did bullet points. This one was much looser and
we
mostly reading off the Wikipedia page and rambling.
yeah, we literally
Uh,
had no outline or bullet points at all. So
Let us
um
know which one you like the most.
yeah, and we will see you next week.
Yep. Ride some trains.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.